Hello and welcome to a video on the Phantom Trainee. It has been discovered how to unlock this assignment, and so this video is going to contain a lot of spoilers. If you don't want to know how to do this and want to find out for yourself how to, then don't watch. If you do want to carry on watching, then I'll explain how the Phantom Trainee was solved and what you have to do to unlock the assignment. So let's start at the beginning. If you go to your assignments tab and scroll down to the gold assignments, you will see there are two Phantom assignments. There's the Phantom Prospect, which is the first assignment, and you must have completed this in order to start the Phantom Trainee. And if you look at the Phantom Trainee, you will see there are simply question marks and there are no assignment requirements displayed. That's because you have to unlock this before you can start it. If you go to the leaderboards tab, at the bottom left hand corner there is the Phantom Skulls, as there was for the Phantom Prospect. And when you click on it, you get this console appearing, which will fill up the screen. Now, one thing you have to be for these is a premium member. As you can see at the top there, it verifies that you are premium. But this text is a little small on video, so I will make it larger. So here you can see the text from the console. It identifies who I am and that I'm a premium user. It then puts up a load of garbage which doesn't seem to mean anything. And then you can see it says unlock phase 1 completed. This means that I've completed the Phantom Prospect and so can move on to the Phantom Trainee. I do have a video on how to unlock the Phantom Prospect, so if you haven't done that yet, I would stop this and go watch that one first. Right, so unlock phase 2 is initiated and it wants me to enter a passcode. Now, in the Phantom Prospect, this passcode came from some little statues in the maps, but for this one it's slightly more complicated. So the first clue comes from playing Squad Deathmatch on Lost Islands, where the carrier has a different layout to it does in Carrier Assault. In the back of the carrier in this mode, you have the medical bay from the single player, and you also have some crew quarters which have lockers in them. And if you move around in here and check out all the lockers, you will find that there's a bit of a name clue. And here it is on this locker here. So we have the name Kevin Simpson 1942 on this locker, and none of the other lockers have any names on. So, what does Kevin Simpson 1942 mean? One of the first things you'll find is that Kevin Simpson 1942 has a battle log account, and not much of a player history. Not played many games, but he does have a player profile and an emblem, and has been putting up some interesting little pieces of text and poetry. But we'll come back to his battlelog profile. First, let's have a look at his web page. So this is kevinsimpson1942.com, and it's not what you'd call a standard web page. All we have is this image and some very strange sounds in the background. Now that sounds to me awfully like a diesel boat at sea, but I might be wrong. However, it was that audio track that came up with the first part of the Phantom Prospect unlock. This is where you see how complicated unlocking this assignment would be if you tried doing it on your own, because somebody put that sound file through Spectrum analysing software and found that the word epic was actually encoded into it. And I believe this was discovered by somebody called Fred Wilson, and it turned out to be the first word of the Phantom Trainee passcode. The second word comes from this image itself, and it was discovered by Ill-Advised Addict. And even when I knew what the clues were, it took me a while to find them in this image. As you can see, there's some various things that are quite obvious. So we got the bottle on the floor, the cone of paper which looks a bit weird, and the post-it note stuck on the rafter. But other than that, the other two were a bit tricky to find. So the first one I've circled in red at the top, and it's the yellow post-it note with the M symbol on it. Now, there were a lot of talk in the forums about this being an astrological symbol, but it turned out to be a lot simpler than that. It's the wingding symbol for the letter E. The next one is this runic symbol that's scratched onto the ladder, and that's simply the rune for the letter M. And we have the ladder and the cone of paper, which form a letter A with the wall. The hardest to spot is probably this little symbol here, which is dot dash dot, which is the Morse code for the letter R. On the Coke Zero bottle on the floor we have 500, and D is the Roman descriptor for the number 500. So therefore we have DREAM, or dream, which is the second word of the passcode. For the last part of the passcode we have to go back to Kevin Simpson 1942's Battlelog profile, and more specifically we have to look at his emblem, because his emblem kept changing throughout the course of people trying to discover this assignment unlock. So more and more planets kept appearing on his emblem, and it was pretty obvious that it was a solar system, and people were looking at the names of the planets and their orders and trying to establish what the code was. But again, it was more simple than that. It was actually just the word worlds. And so here is how to unlock the Phantom Trainee. Go to leaderboards, scroll down to the little skull in the bottom left hand corner, click on it and wait for the console to load. Remember, you must have finished the Phantom Prospect and you must be a premium member for this. And when the console's loaded, you need to type in Epic Dream Worlds with spaces in between. Press enter, and there you have it. Phantom Trainee is unlocked. And if you close that down and then go to the assignments tab, scroll back down to the Phantom Trainee, you'll see you now have the requirements. And here is the Phantom Trainee assignment. So you have to be a premium member to do this assignment chain, and the assignment does have a naval strike symbol on it. But being a premium member means you must already have naval strike. So the only requirements listed are those needed in game. You need to get 200 kills with pistols, 20 kills in a jet, and 2 shotgun ribbons in a round. And for that you will unlock the Phantom Snakeskin. Yet another assignment with jet kills in, so it looks like I really am going to have to learn how to fly. And I think I have only 200 kills with pistols in the entire game up to this point. So that's going to take some work as well. At least the 2 shotgun ribbons in a round is easy. That's 12 shotgun kills in a single round. That's it for the Phantom Trainee. There won't be a video of me unlocking this because it's going to take forever. But I hope this has been helpful and have fun completing it. Thanks for watching.